Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about some news that came out recently about the whole situation of there being a Ghost Rider live action show on Hulu, which I think is pretty dope on many different levels. For one, they're getting the same actor from Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. in particular season 4, who played Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes in particular, Gabriel Luna. So that's pretty dope, kind of getting that. Though it does seem, at least from the Variety article I was reading, that it seems like it's not going to have the direct connection to Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Basically, where his story played out in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. is just kind of that. It almost seems like maybe a reboot. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they end up handling it. But from what I was reading, I was like, yeah, it's not going to be tied into Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., which is kind of sad. It's especially because there's stuff that popped up in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. It's like, oh yeah, like, would have been interesting to see where Robbie went after his story finished up at the end of season 4, and just some stuff here and there in between. But nevertheless, because I think I was listening to someone who had said like, oh, maybe they'll do it so like they might rework his origin story, like the one we got in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. They might change it up a little bit to fit this new series. So there's that. What I'm really excited about is because, for one, and again, obviously Ghost Rider isn't a character I'm that familiar with. I've seen the movie, the first movie with Nicolas Cage. I've never seen the second one. And obviously the TV show is like the deepest dive I've ever had on the character. So it's going to be interesting to kind of get a show fully dedicated to that character in particular. But still, I mean, I also have to think about it too, because like the character that Nicolas Cage plays is obviously a different character than Robbie Reyes, you know, because there's multiple people who've been Ghost Rider, which I didn't know that, but nevertheless. But what's going to be interesting about this, because obviously this is going to be stepping more in the more supernatural side of Marvel, which is something, you know, I've had that conversation recently about, like, when you look at the MCU as a whole, like, obviously more so like, you know, the movies, but obviously even some of the TV shows that have kind of existed in that same universe, like everything on Netflix, it tends to lean more towards the science fictional side of things. Like, you know, with the movies, the first real step in like the more supernatural fantasy side of things was Doctor Strange. With the TV shows, it's like Iron Fist was the first step in that direction. Maybe Cloak and Dagger in certain regards, because I always lump that as science fiction, but I still think it is. But maybe you can borderline make some like supernatural elements to it. Even like the Runaways, I think the staff that Nico and Tina use is technology based, so there's a science fiction to that, but it might be more supernatural because it kind of borderlines on magic in certain regards. Regardless, it's going to be interesting to really dive into that supernatural side of the Marvel universe, because we haven't really tackled that in movie or TV show form. So I'm really interested to kind of, you know, get, like I said, a deeper dive into the character of Ghost Rider, in particular Robbie Reyes. What's also interesting too is that this also ties in because apparently they're also making a Hellstorm TV show, which is a hero I know nothing about. I did a little quick Googling. The only character I saw come up was a character named Damien Hellstorm, which I'm assuming is the same character. Apparently he's like Satan's son, but Satan had a child with like a mortal woman, and that's who Damien Hellstorm is. Like, beyond that, I try not to read too much in it, but he seems like he's more on that supernatural, like magical side of things too. So probably kind of in a similar realm as kind of like the whole Ghost Rider thing, which is, you know, interesting. Like, obviously I'm very interested in kind of seeing both. It's going to be interesting too. Like I said, it's just because so far, like, even, you know, using Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. for example, like when it came to Ghost Rider, they're like, oh, you must be like an Inhuman or something. You can't have really sold your soul to the devil or something like that. Because obviously, like, Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. always played around with the factors of like magic isn't real, supernatural stuff, all that's just science that we don't understand yet. Oh, it's preposterous and stuff like that. Especially when you know, talk about, you know, Simmons and Fitz, they were always the biggest proponents for that aspect of like, no, it's science. There's a scientific explanation for everything. So it's going to be interesting, like I said, to just dive into more supernatural stuff of like, nah, ain't no sciencing this away, you know. So we will ultimately have to see. But what's going to be interesting about this whole Hulu situation is, because obviously this is going to be another platform for them to bridge out their other stuff. I mean, let's not forget they already have Runaways on Marvel, so it's going to be interesting to see if they end up tying that all together, kind of doing what was happening on Netflix but now on Hulu, which is going to be interesting because obviously, like, Hulu, like, at this point in time, Disney owns like 60% of it, so it's going to be like another platform that's mainly kind of their cup of tea, which is definitely going to be interesting because I think I also heard someone saying that Disney might try and go to get an even bigger percentage. I mean, even that percentage they got right now is only because of the Fox and Disney merger merger deal, that's what bumped them up to 60% because Fox had like a huge stake in Hulu as well. Nevertheless, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what they do if they do kind of do like a Hulu verse, you know, amongst their Marvel properties and stuff like that, or whether they're just gonna keep everything disconnected. You know, will there be a lot more like obviously the Disney Plus stuff is gonna be the most connected to the MCU, but will this kind of give them the freedom to be like, hey, we definitely might tie these shows in more particular? Maybe not, you know, because obviously it's going to be on a smaller scale like any other TV show, you know, just because of budgetary reasons and stuff like that. Obviously productions are not as costly on most TV shows as you would get the budget for like a movie or something, you know, but still. What's also interesting too, because it's not just this, there's even like animated stuff. I don't know if it's all one animated show with all these different characters. I saw like one of the characters I saw was like Howard the Duck, which is interesting because I didn't know this until someone ended up pointing out afterwards. It's kind of a spoiler for Endgame, but I just thought it was kind of an interesting little thing at this point in time, so I think it's okay to say it. But someone had pointed out that if you look at the end, there's Howard the Duck. I've seen pictures of people pointing out, I was like, oh, Howard the Duck is there in like the battle against Thanos at the end. I was like, that's so cool. Because I think the last time we saw Howard the Duck, I want to say was Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Like he was, like that was his first and only appearance in the MCU that I'm aware of. So it was nice to kind of see them bring him back in that regard. So I'm curious, is this animated series going to have any tie-in to that? Or is it just going to happen to be its own thing? Like I said, those are the questions I have going forward. I'll link to it in the description down below, the Variety article I was reading that will kind of explain all the characters. Like I said, Howard the Duck was the first name that kind of, there were a whole bunch of other names, so I'm not sure if they're all going to be in the same show or they're going to be a multitude of shows. Either way, at the end of the day, I'm very fascinated to end up checking all of that out. My question to you guys ultimately is, how do you feel all about this? Are you excited for a Ghost Rider series? Yes, no? What about the aspect that this is not going to be connected to Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D.? Are you happy about that? You disappointed? What about the Hellstorm series? Especially if you're more familiar about it, is that something that you're excited about? What about the animated stuff? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.